A year later, many are still living in abject conditions. This pregnant woman is one of many whose economic conditions forced her to return to this area and rebuild her shack. Her child was only 9 days old when the floods engulfed the whole informal settlement.
One of my neighbors there in church, they was here to take the baby and take the baby there in that house. Before I'm going to that house, the water it was full.
A year on, the recent floods have reignited her trauma.
I can't sleep anymore because I remember back. I remember that train. What if that train is coming?
Another survivor also paints a startling picture of how she nearly died. She too has a small child and says she lives with anxiety.
Every time when we see the rain coming, we always run away. Find ourselves a place where we can sleep at least. We will come back in the morning.
She and her little girl live on the edge of the riverbank.
When it's raining, I always took her to a daycare. It's far away from the water. I ask for the teacher to keep her until the morning.
Activists in the area say the uncertainty has created lots of tension. They have appealed to the city of Tshwane to act before another disaster strikes.
It's a sad reality to black people and what we continue to suffer, because these people are suffering the very same thing that have suffered years back. But the thing that I would say to our government is that we need a government that is good as its promise.
You are shattered, ma'am. We are hopeless now as the community members. You know, there are people who are sitting right at the river banks, and that when the rain starts, we always do not sleep, knowing that anything can happen.
The pastor who housed many of the victims at his church says it's unfortunate that the plight of the flood victims seems to be politicized.
For most of our officials, politics comes first. And it's clear that they won't do anything that is not going to benefit them politically. Towards the elections, they are going to be used again as voting tickets.
After many failed promises to relocate these residents, there seems to be no political will to protect the dignity of the people of Eerste Fabrieke. The city of Tshwane is yet to give clarity on the promises to relocate these vulnerable people. After the recent downpours, the water in this river has already risen substantially, sparking panic amongst many of the residents, especially mothers with small children. A year ago, the devastating floods in this area left many of the residents with nothing but permanent trauma. Many promises were made to relocate them, and with the local elections around the corner, the residents here say they too will remember the empty promises when it's time to vote. Pretoria, SABC News in Mamelodi, Pretoria.